Hi, I'm Sonnet with Sonnet's Garden Blooms. I want to welcome you all to my channel. Now, today's video is going to be part 4 of our spring DIYs. I will have part 1, 2, and 3 linked below in the description box. So if you haven't seen those yet, go ahead, check them out. They've gone over very well. So today's part 4, I took some items that I recently thrifted and I flipped them into spring decor. I also heard from a viewer today and I created this sign for her. She had some questions on the IOD stamps and mounting the actual letters and how to do that. So I decided I was going to make this Peter Cottontail sign and I absolutely love it. All right, well, I hope you enjoy today's video. Let me know in the comments at the end what you guys all think. What was your favorite item? And if you haven't been here before, what you're gonna find on my channel is a lot of DIY, thrift hauls, thrift flips, really a day in the life of a small business owner. I like to take you guys along when I do shows or different events. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button if that is the type of channel that you do like. And today, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. All right, enjoy. I found these legs on my last haul, so we're gonna use those and we are going to upcycle this suitcase. And I had it in my booth for a while. It is not sold, so we're gonna paint it and I think I'm gonna add like a transfer or a stamp or something to the top to decorate it up. I started by using DIY's white Swan and I applied 2 coats of that paint. Anytime you are using DIY paint, you do need to seal it, otherwise it does reactivate. So I used DIY's Big Top and applied a clear coat to the entire piece. Next, I took pieces that I had left over from the transfer Brocante, and I determined that that's how I wanted to lay them out. I then took the birds and I centerized them. I took the stick that comes with the transfer and I just started rubbing all over to get a good adherence. And then I start on one end. I just keep rubbing and I start peeling up the backing. And if a piece of your transfer does not apply, just lay your backing down again and rub again, and it should just then apply to whatever you're putting the transfer on. After the transfer is on, then you're going to want to take that backing and rub it all over the transfer. That is called burnishing, and it just really embeds that transfer in whatever you're applying it to. Then the last thing I did is I applied the legs to the suitcase and I just used a screw and screwed them in. What I am going to do to, it only had a spot for 1 screw. I am going to take a metal bit and I am going to add 2 more screws just to give it a little bit more stability. For this project, it was inspired by a viewer. I received a call from one of our viewers out there and she had a question about the IOD stamps. So I decided to make a sign today using one of my favorite set of IOD stamps. And that would be the Typesetting stamp set. And I will show you, I kind of have some of the letters pulled off already for this. But the reason that I do like this set so much is because it comes with all the capital letters, the lowercase letters, and the numbers. And it's a really nice size font, so you can definitely make signs with it. And that is what I'm going to show you today. Her question was, how do you actually use these? So first off, when you get the stamps, it is going to come with a backing. So you're going to see this clear plastic here, which the stamps are housed on. And then there's going to be another backing on it as well. So you just pull that other backing off and you have the set of stamps. What you'll want to do is initially take a light grit sandpaper and just rough up all the stamps. And you're not going to hurt them, just lightly sand all the stamps, and then they are prepped and ready to go. So she asked how you make a sign or how you would use these. And you just would basically peel the letters off of this. There's no need to cut these out. You want to house them all together. And then you have the stamp, or the actual, like the clear stamp, all set. We do have, and I just got these in. They come on a much larger scale, and I actually cut this one down. But you can see like the grids on there. You can line up your words on this grid and make sure it's nice and straight. That way too, when you're ready to stamp, you can make sure that they all are lined up and make sure it's just nice and square by using one of these. And I will have them available out on my website as well. So what we're going to start off doing though, I'm going to start off walking you through how I'm going to do this. I am going to make a Peter Cottontail sign today, and I found this little thing. I like the ears on this, so I'm actually going to cut this piece off. But what I want to do is we're going to paint it Apothecary. I'm going to come back. I am going to outline the actual rabbit on here, and we're going to paint that in white. And then from there, we are going to we're going to stamp with our typesetting letters Peter Cottontail over it. And I'm going to distress it up a bit and make it look all just fun. So let's go ahead and get started by painting the base with Apothecary. With this sign, I only did one coat of paint. I did want to do a distressing with my hand sander just to allow some of the grain of the wood to come through and just make it look a little bit aged. Now that it's dry, I'm just taking the bunny that I found, and I'm going to take a pencil, outline the entire image that I want to then paint. So I'm taking white Swan and just a standard paintbrush, and I am filling in that entire image of the rabbit. My only suggestion is when you're painting, just make sure that you don't have a lot of paint lines. I tried to blend it very well as I was painting, just when I was filling in, just so that there weren't a lot of lines. Next, I'm laying out how I want the font to look. And I'm trying to determine like where the center is, and we have to use the E twice. So I moved it over, and we're gonna stamp this portion of Peter. I pick it up, and then we're going to use the black ink from IOD. It is permanent, but after I do stamp this and let them dry, or let the letters dry, I do apply a clear coat to the entire piece. But I find the center where the T is in the center of it, and I just rub over each of the letters. And then I go back, I wipe off. The one thing about the stamps is you do want to wipe off the ink as quickly as possible. It's much easier to clean them up that way. I then apply the E, and I put the E, I try to line it up as best as I could, and there's Peter. After that, I put on Cottontail. From my last haul, I have found this chair, and it's the chair that needs a new seat. I thought about recaning it. A lot of viewers thought I should as well. It just seems like a much bigger project than what I can handle. So I'm going to paint the entire piece cake batter. It's this really pretty yellow, pale yellow, And then I found this fabric, and it is a yard, and it is the Pioneer Woman. I found it at the Walmart. So what we're going to do is I am going to recover this. I'm cutting a piece of wood for this. We're going to put the fabric on that, and then we're going to put it on the chair. And that is how we are going to flip this chair for spring. I am debating on if I should put some transfers or something, just maybe like something up here, or if I'm gonna play it by ear. I apply 2 coats of the DIY's cake batter to the entire piece. Once it was dry completely, I did take it and I used my hand sander and I distressed all the edges, or I added natural distressing to the piece. I know that in past videos, some viewers said that they did not like the distressing. If that is something you don't like, you don't have to add it. I just like that look and it goes over very well in my area. I cut a piece of wood to fit that opening. It was a scrap piece that I had in the garage, and it's not super thick. I also am doing another project where I'm recovering a set of chairs, and I had bought this foam. It's a 1-inch foam. So what I am doing is I'm basically tracing around this, and I'm leaving a little bit of an overlap so that when I do recover, or when I staple on the fabric, I should say, that foam kind of goes over the edges as well, so you don't feel the wood at all when you're sitting on it. Next, I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and cut the rest of the piece out, just to fit it to size. So the next step is I'm going to cut the fabric. I did buy 2 yards of this fabric. I do plan on sewing up some pillows to add pillows to the booth to match the chair. And I just love this fabric. It gives it such a springy feel. So I am going to leave I would say about 1 inch around the entire perimeter of the actual form. And from there, we're going to start stapling. I'm just using a standard staple gun, and I want this to be a little bit taut or tight because you do want that foam to be wrapped around that wood. You don't want to be able to feel that. So I start on one side, I then flip it over and I pull on the other side, and I do this around the entire piece. And I continue to add staples as I'm, pulling it tight. I try to do all 4 sides and then I work on the corners. I then cut away any excess fabric in the end, just to make it really nice and clean. I recently did a poll on my community tab asking everyone what color reminded them of spring, and by far green was the color. So I used this in a recent short showing everyone what my favorite color green was, which is aviary. So I gave this 2 coats of paint, and then we're going to go ahead and we are going to add some white wax to finish this piece off. So I'm using DIY's white wax, and typically what I like to do is use a clear wax first and then either apply the white or a dark. It gives you better control, but I wanted this to be just really have a lot of white in all the areas, so I just went right with the white. So I'm going to apply it, and then I'm going to take the paper towel and I am going to wipe away the excess. And I love how this piece turned out. So for our last project, I found this cup thrifting this summer at an estate sale. I also found these succulents recently at the dollar store. I could not believe how real they looked. So we're going to take some foam, cut it down, and we are going to add the succulent to the container. Then we're going to take some Spanish moss and we are going to apply the Spanish moss to hide the foam. But I love this project. Didn't it turn out so cute? So what did you guys all think? What was your favorite item? I honestly, today, I am going to have a hard time picking. I really did like everything. The chair and obviously the suitcase probably were my favorite. I think the suitcase, by upcycling it the way I did, is going to sell very quickly. So I'm very excited to see how that goes. I'm still deciding what price point to put on it. So we'll go from there. I'm going to toss it around over the weekend. I'll let you guys know if any of you have questions on how much I'm going to price it at. I will comment and let you guys know what I decide. So if any of the projects, if you're wanting to use any of the items in any of the projects today, like the stamps or the paints, the transfers, they will all be linked below. They are on my website at www.sonnetsgardenblooms.com. And I have heard that people have been wanting the molds, and I am so sorry, but due to supply chain issues, we currently cannot get the molds until the end of February. So they will be restocked on my website at the end of February when the ship hopefully hits that port and we can get the items restocked. So I apologize for that, but I think everywhere in the world there are supply chain issues right now with different items. But Monday's video, I don't know yet what I'm going to be doing. Probably going to come up with something over the weekend. I'm still tackling those two dressers. I've been dragging my feet, guys. I don't know. It's just like the moment has to be right. They're sitting in my kitchen and my husband's like, get them out of here. So it has to be done this weekend, definitely. But so maybe that will be Monday's video. We'll see. But I hope you guys have a great weekend and we'll see you Monday. Bye.